Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Pod. Today we have a very special guest. We have Hannah Oliveros, also known as Planet of Gymnastics on Instagram. Hannah began her career in gymnastics as a highly recruited gymnast who scored a 9.9 on beam in her collegiate debut and was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. She teared her Achilles 10 days later and later underwent 4 hip surgeries, or is going to undergo the fourth one on Monday. Then which forced her to medically retire, she pivoted into social media. She launched the Ohio State Athletics TikTok and running OSU's football digital channels. That experience and her love for the sport led to her start of Planet of Gymnastics, the Instagram account, which now has over 350,000 followers. Today, we'll talk about her journey, her internships, how she built her brand, her partnership with US Glove, and her vision for the future. Yay, Hannah, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Busy. Yeah, long resume.
Busy girl.
Very busy.
Yeah.
I like it that way.
Okay, so I don't even know where to start. Start with your gymnastics journey. You started at Ohio State. Talk about like your recruiting process, which school you wanted to choose and why.
Yeah. So when I was recruiting, I feel so old, but the NIL rules were different.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really an age limit on when you could get recruited. I went to my first JO Nationals, which was like the level 10 Nationals, when I was 13 or 14, and then got recruited from there, placed well at Nationals, got my first full ride scholarship at 14.
Wow.
And then had a few school offers, but Ohio State was in the Big Ten. It was close enough to home in Chicago without being at home. So committed there at 15. And
That's insane.
That is awesome.
You know where you're going at 14 years old.
I don't think you do. But anyways, went to Ohio State. Was really young for my grades, so started school when I was 17. And everything was going great. It was during COVID freshman year.
Yeah.
But I had a great freshman debut. We competed at our rival at Michigan and scored a 9.9 in the last event, won Big Ten Freshman of the Week.
Yeah.
As you said, 10 days later, tore my Achilles. I had never been hurt before, so I literally didn't know what to do with my life. I felt so bad for the coaches. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're paying for me, and I just am out here tearing my Achilles. And at that point, I was a sports psychology major. I wanted to do something in sports psych. That's what I decided at 15. And but I was like, well, I need to help out with the team somehow because I don't want to just sit here watching everyone. So I asked my coach if I could run the Ohio State Gymnastics Instagram.
Gotcha. So
And
you were there like SID, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So I helped post on stories and then post on in feed while I was rehabbing. And then sophomore year, I was able to come back to gym, had a great season, but I was still posting on Instagram, and I ended up changing my major to communication technology so that I could just figure out more of what digital media meant. After sophomore season, got an internship with Ohio State Athletics, and it was supposed to be a summer internship, and my project was to launch Ohio State Athletics TikTok. We didn't have one yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a cool project.
Yeah, it was really fun too because I was working in athletics, so I could work with all 36 of our sports at Ohio State. It went really well. We got from 0 to 100K in a few months, and I was like, oh, I like it here.
That's awesome.
So then they kept me on. Yes, they kept me on till the end of graduation. So going into junior year, I was now working Ohio State football games while training my junior year preseason. So I'd come into the gym on Saturday mornings.
So you were still training this entire time?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, gotcha. I was still on the team doing everything while also running Ohio State women's gymnastics Instagram. I was now with Ohio State Athletics as a digital media intern. And my role on football game days was posting live on Ohio State Athletics for football. And then I did a little bit of TikTok as well.
Gotcha.
But we had practice during game days, so I would come in by myself at like 7 a.m. so I could start practice earlier and then finish practice earlier. And then I'd go walk to the stadium to work a whole football game day from there.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yeah, but I loved it. I had never thought that this was a path that I could go down.
That's crazy, kind of like thinking that at 14 you need to know what you want to do with your life too, and like eventually finding out what you love.
Right, especially, and it all coming from tearing my Achilles.
Yeah.
So
everything happens for a reason.
It really does, because first I'll finish saying what I was. But while I was then working for Ohio State Athletics. I finished it that year, still posted on Instagram, had a junior season.
How did that go?
Junior season was good, but I started struggling a ton mentally, and it was just getting to be a lot for me. And I had decided by the end of season, I was like, I just need to medically retire just for my own mental health.
Was it like your body, or was it like just mentally?
It was my body and my mind. And at the time, like, my hips were hurting, but I didn't know why. I had like gotten them checked out in high school, and then throughout college it was just really like showing in my hamstrings, so we didn't know that it was my hips.
Gotcha.
So I just kept on going. I didn't know anything was wrong, but it definitely played into my decision. But we found out in my exit meeting, because you have to do like your physical to exit, found out that I had a ton wrong with my hips. I had 2 torn labrums and also hip dysplasia in both. So it's a year recovery on both hips, and then you need your screws out, and they basically just do hip reconstruction and break your hips and everything.
Oh my gosh. Did you do them at the same time, or?
They could only do one at a time because you're out, like you can't move.
They break your hips in surgery?
They broke it 4 times, rotated it, and then put 4-inch screws in. And then they took them out a year later, and then I had my left hip, and then I get my screws out on Monday.
Oh my gosh.
But while I was finding all of this out, I had medically retired, and clearly I didn't think my resume was good enough, because I also worked with NBC Sports at this point too. So I was interning with Ohio State Athletics and NBC Sports, but it wasn't enough.
We're going to have to dive in on the process of that too, and how you got that.
Yeah.
But I first want to talk about, like, also you're dealing with an Achilles injury and all of these hip injuries. Like, how did you get through that?
I truly think that being able to just have an outlet in something else besides the sport saved me, and was just helped me in so many ways, because it was something that I was passionate about that had nothing to do with my own performance. Clearly, coming back from all those injuries, your performance is going to decline, and this is just not how I had planned college to go. So being able to go into an office and go into these game days, just having all of my focus on something else, really just helped me in the long run.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, how did you expect your college years to go? And I'm sure this is not the way.
No.
Like, everyone expects, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to compete at the highest level, and I'm going to have the best seasons ever.
Right.
And then that's not always the way it goes.
Yeah, I think that it was a very big shock to me, especially freshman year, just having such a big debut. I literally went from like the top of the world to just crashing down in 10 days. And I guess I never really got the chance to visualize what my college career could have been, just because everything happened so quickly. But once I started realizing that I was more than an athlete, and that sport shaped me, but it's not my identity. Once I got over that, I was like, okay, I'm fine. Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, I'm just grateful to be here and to have this experience, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so powerful about college sports, though. If you can look at it as a vehicle, right, an opportunity, you got your education paid for and all access to all these things.
Yeah.
It still hurts, right? And when your sport is done, and it takes a long time for that grieving to process, but using it as a vehicle to opportunity and not letting it use you, that's the good stuff.
Right.
Yes.
You can take something on the journey with you.
And you're allowed to like figure out what you wanted to do in life. Whereas like you said, you came in at 14, you thought you wanted to do something else. Like, so many people just like don't really know what they're doing, but like you found that outlet, and you found that, you know, through your school. So that's also really cool that you had that.
I like to say that, like, everything ended up happening for a reason, but I took the absolute hardest way to get to where I am now.
But you really made sure you were doing what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. What did senior year look like then? Because you medically retired after your junior year.
Yes. So senior year, I created Planet of Gymnastics in the parking lot after a doctor's appointment.
Just to clarify for people, Planet of Gymnastics is where we go to for all of our gymnastics news, information. Like, we call like the gymnastics world online the gymternet too, and it's like this. Yeah, it's like this really weird like foreign place where people like, oh, look at the leotards from this team, or oh, like she got a 9.9, she deserved like a 9.7. Like people like go back and forth, fight in the comments. Like it's talk about leotards. Like
the gym community is tough. Like,
it's like scary.
They're very tight knit.
Yeah, I don't know how they know each other or if they or what, but like after anything gymnastics wise happens, they're like bickering back and forth. Like whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Planet of Gymnastics, Hannah's page. Like I remember she posted a leotard of ours once.
It was a pretty leotard.
It was a pretty leotard. There was some like, you know, controversy over it just because it was like all mesh and it like was see-through, but like we were wearing things under the Leo, so it wasn't really see-through. So there was a lot of like controversy over that. And I would just look at the comments, like there'd be like 200 comments of people not even Clemson affiliated fighting back and forth over the leotard.
On your leotard.
Yeah. Just on the leotard, not over performance, not over anything else. The leotard.
Because gymnastics isn't hard enough already. But people want to dissect what you're wearing that you didn't have a say over.
Right. Like you have
it's your uniform.
We have no control over what we're wearing. Like whether you like it or not, we have to wear it. So, and we're already so like, I don't know, gymnastics wearing a leotard, you're already so like exposed kind of. So it's just people talking about your body and stuff like that. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
But Hannah facilitates part
I don't
of this.
facilitate the negative comments.
No, she doesn't facilitate any of the comments too. Yeah. She just puts it out there.
Yes.
100%. But it's a scary place, and you've made a big name for yourself through Planet of Gymnastics. Just wanted to clear that for people who don't know, because it's super niche. I feel like there's no like, you know, in football there's like House of Highlights and like ESPN and all of these different other Instagram accounts that follow football that's not directly like NCAA football, you know, the account. So there are places where people can talk about these other sports, and like I'm sure they have it for volleyball too. And Planet of Gymnastics kind of reminds me of another Instagram account like that.
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
So you did it in the parking lot of your doctor's appointment?
Yes.
So how did that like all come to your mind? Like what was the thing where you're like, I want to make this account?
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned House of Highlights. That was what my boyfriend was working at the time. He's also in social media, and he had a few Instagram pages of his own, and I already liked social media. But I had never thought like, oh, I can just make my own page. So he was kind of pushing me to do it, and I was like, no, like I don't really want to. I, at this point, hate gymnastics. I want nothing to do with it. But I did want to grow my resume, and I was like, well, the only sport I would know how to post would be gymnastics. So I don't know what came over me after the doctor's appointment. I was like, fine, I'll do it. It was actually called Gym World 101.
Oh, gosh.
He was like, please change that.
Oh, man, Gym World 101.
It didn't.
That doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely.
No, it doesn't. I'm glad that he came up with a better name for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Evie was saying, the gym internet can be a very good place, but also very negative. And seeing the effects that the sport had on me, I really wanted to change that. One, there was already not a platform that gave news and highlighted at a level comparable to the NFL or ESPN or something like that. But I also wanted to make sure that I was just highlighting athletes that usually wouldn't be seen, especially in gymnastics. It's growing, but small, and coverage isn't, at the time, wasn't as great as it has been in the past 2 years. So I wanted to highlight people not just at the top of their college career, but also girls that are just getting their KIP in level 4 or people that may not make it to college, but they just did something really great in level 8. But then also all the college athletes that from Clemson who had their inaugural season to Oklahoma. I just wanted to highlight a ton of different people and showcase what they were doing. But I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to know it was me. So I promised myself, I was like, okay, if one day I hit 100,000 followers, I will let people know that it was me posting.
Wait, no one knew it was you?
No, I didn't want to tell anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, I was too scared.
Yeah. Why were you scared?
The whole, like, there wasn't a page like this. And I didn't want it to come off as, like, I was gymnastics obsessed, but in like a...
Why?
I don't know. I didn't like gymnastics.
Oh.
I didn't like it. And also, like, I didn't want people to get the wrong impression of it. I don't know what that impression could have been, but starting anything new is scary. And I didn't want people to judge me. I was scared of what the response would be. So being able to not tell anyone was great until I hit 100,000 followers in 2.5 months. And then,
and then you had to tell
I was like, oh man. But the reaction was great when people realized that it was a gymnast behind the page. They really connected to that. And they're like, okay, this is by a gymnast for other gymnasts. And they really liked that. And I tried to keep the captions and comments very personable, and I think that I've grown a really fun, big community because of that. And I'm able to get good engagement and good comments, some bad with Leo's, but people flock to my Instagram to be able to talk about gymnastics now. And it's not something that I would have imagined, but I grew it to 250K in less than a year, 300K by 2 years. It was just in Forbes this summer. Awesome. And
wait, can you tell me about that?
Casual.
Like, I was just in Forbes. Yeah. Wait, like Forbes 30 under 30. Like, what are we talking about? Forbes?
No, so a Forbes sports journalist DM'd me, and she was just like, "Hey, I write for Forbes, I guess, and I would really like to do an article on you about Planet of Gymnastics." And I was like, "Is this real?" And I looked through her stuff, and she looked real. So,
did you have to travel somewhere, or did you?
No, we did a Zoom interview this past summer, and then she wrote everything, released it. We talked about my life, like we're doing right now, how I grew up in this sport, and then she kind of highlighted everything that Planet of Gymnastics had grown to be over the past 2 years. So, yeah, it was really cool. You should check it out.
That's insane. That's awesome.
How are you everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, you have so much diverse content on your page.
Yeah.
And you can't be in a million places at once, but you are moving all over.
Yeah.
How do you stay up to date and in tune and keep up with relevant content?
Because you had stuff from the Olympics, too.
Yes.
Did you go there?
No.
Okay.
I would love to go to LA, though. That would be, that's my next, like, big goal. But in terms of staying relevant, my screen time is off the charts. You don't want to see it. But I worked in the NFL last year, and I think that being able to
Another casual.
Yeah, another casual.
Casual.
All your free time.
In all my free time, I worked in the NFL last year. Worked with the Cleveland Browns in social media for a season.
You worked with Jameis Winston.
I did work with Jameis Winston. He asked my name at practice so that he could say hi to me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is nice. This is my peak.
So nice.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, I guess. But being able to work at such high caliber and seeing how social media is ran and then how I can improve gymnastics was very helpful, and something that helped me fall back in love with the sport is seeing it from a lens that I love social media, and being able to bring gymnastics fans content and different views behind the scenes of something that they've never seen just because no one has thought in that way yet, is how I like to think that I keep my content diverse. And if you go on, like, at least my For You page now is just filled with all of these girls in different gyms. They're like, my biggest dream is to be posted on Planet of Gymnastics.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which is so cool. But then, like, I asked them permission to post that, and then I can post that. And, like, that's how I keep the community very tight-knit, is, like, showing all angles instead of just highlights of a sport.
That's so cool. What's a lesson that you learned from your time with the Browns? So then what's on your page now?
Ooh. I learned it's called, like, helmet off content. So everything that you do outside of practice or games. So I'd be in the locker room with the guys after practice, before practice, and you're just trying to show off their personality. And that's kind of how I came up with this college takeover that I launched this preseason, is I wanted to showcase not only the athlete's personality, which you don't get to see very often, but different parts of the sport that hasn't been shown. That's why I was in the media room yesterday, and I was up in the video board controls. I was in the rafters yesterday too.
You were?
Yes, it was scary.
It's so high up.
I was terrified. I'm not going back. I was like one of the interns. I was like, please just send me this. I can't be up here anymore.
Oh my gosh.
But like when I was with Florida, which I was this past 2 days ago, I was just talking to their sports analysis person. And so we're just going through different parts of the sport that you wouldn't have seen, but the NFL has already been able to produce. So
I feel like that content is so fun to watch too. Like I see that on my TikTok all the time, where they're like, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food or something like that. Like it's stuff that's like so stupid and like could seem minuscule, but it kind of shows me like, oh, like I kind of like the personality of this player. Like I'm maybe going to tune in to his game or something like that. You're able to get more like eyeballs.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Thanks. And that's what I think it's fun to be able to pick my brain that way, especially not being in school anymore, graduating last year. For example, I have a post that I'll be doing for Clemson later that at the showcase, instead of just filming them warming up on vault, I noticed that they have these cards that they flash to the people that are setting the table and setting the springboard and everything like that. And people wouldn't normally see that. And it's something that's so zoomed in gymnastics. Like, it's such a minuscule detail that it would have never been shown. So instead of just recording their vault warm-ups like anyone else would, and like I know that content will already be out there, I'm really trying to like look at, okay, what can I do instead?
Like, how are we communicating within the team too?
So I mic'd up, I think it was Sophie or Hannah was, I don't remember who it was.
I think it was Sierra who was flashing the cards, no?
Sierra was flashing the cards, and then I don't remember who was down there, but I mic'd her up and she's holding all of the settings, and like that's something that like all gymnasts would already know, but no one else would be able to see, and just making the sport accessible to a ton of non-gymnastics fans.
To clarify for the non-gymnastics fans who listen, on vault we have different settings. So the table raises from, I think it will range in college from like 120 to 130. So you go 120, 125, 130, and based on your height, based on how you block, like you have a different setting. So I go on 130, and then like one of my other teammates go on 125, and then that's the same with the board that we punch off of too. Like, you have to like line it up to the specific numbers like next to the vault runway, and that's the same with the hand mat too. And you can change the hand mat from long ways vertical or like horizontal.
And they're all like measured out. So like my vault setting was 5'3", 6 foot. So the back of the springboard needs to be 5 feet 3 inches away from the table, and I want my hand mat at 6 feet away from the table.
Right.
And that's something that gymnasts understand, but no one else would have even thought to know about that.
Yeah. And it's based on like your stride of your run too, like how quick you run. If you take like smaller steps in your run, like it's all based on that. And then you start at a specific number. Like I start at like 73 and a half feet away from the vault table. So I can take 10 steps, but that may be 12 steps for some other person who runs differently than me or something like that. It's very niche.
technical sport.
I didn't think I would ever be able, like, I would ever have to like explain that. Cause like it's something I don't really think about it because it's so natural, but
no one else would know that.
No.
That's why you're going to get a video out of it.
Too. Yeah. Like not a lot of sports have that, like specific. Even like football, obviously it's like huge and like there's all these like accounts for it, but like I don't really feel like any of that's going on. You know, like the small things that you don't really see. I feel like that's like so unique even for like gymnastics.
And if you set the table or the mat wrong, or you start at a different place, your whole vault is messed up, which can be like essentially catastrophic.
Yeah. Like literally dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous. Yeah. And so it's important that we have those people who like put up the numbers or put up the mats or like read out whose vault table is going where, because you could die. Like, I don't want. That sounds like morbid.
You could
get
very dangerous
very quickly.
You can get very, very seriously injured. Yeah. So yesterday we had Sierra flashing up these numbers. It's like an 8 for like an 8-incher mat that we land on, or maybe was it like a P?
It was a C.
It was a C for comp. That's like what we compete on. Like we're ready to warm up our comp vault. Like we're ready to go. The 8 is for when we're warming up like our like layouts. I don't know.
You'll see the video and you'll be like, oh, I'm so
that's
glad
something that you guys do.
Yeah.
You guys set that up, or like the team?
The team does.
Okay.
Like,
team and the managers.
Yeah, and it's something we have to practice too every day. Excuse me. We practice that in the gym as well. So it's like seamless because we're being timed 15 minutes. So it has to run very smoothly. So 7 or 8 girls can all go and get enough turns to be able to warm up their comp vault in the 15 minutes. So
I would have never known that. Yeah.
Detail and
luckily vault takes 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But we have to do that for the other events too. And then don't get me started on bar settings because people go on different bar settings too. And then people want the bar sprayed, people want it like chalk taken off of it, and then some girls are taller, so they have to have it higher, the bar higher, and then the low bar lower. Like it's a lot.
It's a lot that happens in between each turn. So.
And then sometimes it can get in your head if the bars are too loose or too tight. Like It's a lot. Like, I'm getting hot just thinking.
This is why I'm glad
sweating.
to be on the social media side. Like, I already had so much anxiety. Like, doing gymnastics just elevated my heart rate at all times.
There are children of all ages in South Carolina who are in need of a forever home. Many are teens, siblings, or have complex medical needs. Public adoption through the South Carolina Department of Social Services can be not only life-changing for them, it can be life-changing for you too. When you provide stability, guidance, and support, you're giving a young person the foundation to succeed in school, work, and life. In return, you'll gain a meaningful connection. Learn more about public adoption in South Carolina at dss.sc.gov. Now back to the show.
But how was that experience for you last night, experiencing Clemson for the first time? I know it wasn't an actual meet, and like you'll have to come back for an actual meet because it gets sold out. We have sold out crowds, literally. And we had a good amount of people last night too, but I just wanted to know from your experience, how was watching that?
I was so impressed. Just everything that you guys have been able to build up into now. This is only your third season. The fans are so engaged, even driving around campus. Like, you have your showcase posters up everywhere and people are interested. And the way that the video boards are explaining what a deduction is and what vault is and all of these things, I thought that everything was just, I was telling your coaches, I was like, if you're gonna bring a new sport into a school, this is the way to do it. I was blown away by it. It was really cool.
Yeah. What about the gymnastics wise? Who stood out to you? I know we have a lot of new girls on our team too.
Gymnastics, I was really impressed with Lily just because I knew that she had come back from a really tough surgery. Bree Clark is always fun to watch. Ella Cesario, I love her bars. And
you know Ella, right?
Yes, I do know Ella. We've known each other since high school. We went on a gymnastics all-star trip when we were we were from the same state, so like you qualify for this.
Did you guys ever go to the same club gym? Or
we did.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever overlapped, but we knew each other from a ton.
Gotcha.
But we went to the same gym. So yeah, Bree, Ella, you obviously on everything you do, you're amazing. It's really cool seeing Emma and that you guys have already been able to get an international gymnast in 3 years. That's something that, like, I competed at Ohio State for so long. We don't have an international gymnast right now. So it's just really cool to see how quickly the gymnastics is progressing and how quickly the program as a whole is too.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to go back to like where you grew up because I'm from Chicago too. So what part are you from? And
I was from close to Schaumburg and Elgin. It's called Streamwood.
Okay.
But
I'm from Deerfield, so that's like
no
north.
way.
Yeah, so like
right
near there.
We're basically neighbors.
Yeah, that's crazy. So like where did you train?
Oh, I trained everywhere because
were you a gym hopper?
Yes, but I hate that term because I had no say over what happened. So like I started at Mega. Loved that place, but it was in Elgin, and I was the highest level that you could be, and I was level 8, so there was nowhere else to go. So then I went to Legacy Elite, which is fine.
Oh, that's where that's where
Ella and Angel were. But then just had some of my own bad experiences. Quit gymnastics as a whole when I was like 11 years old. I was in level 9. And I
feel like every gymnast has been there.
Yeah. I quit for like a good 2 months. And then one of my coaches from Legacy Elite was like, hey, can you come back? And I was like, fine. So then I went to IGI for all of high school. Then the gym got shut down. So then I had to go back to Mega where I had originally started. So.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I technically wasn't like a gym hopper by choice.
Yeah.
It just happened that
it's out of your control.
Every bad thing could have happened.
Man.
When did you start gymnastics?
I did a mommy and me class when I was very young, and then that was about it. And then I started breaking couches, trying to flip over them. And I think that it was the broken couches that my mom put me into gymnastics at 5. So,
oh my gosh.
Yes.
I feel like gymnasts start so early.
And I was late. 5 years old was late.
Wait, I started at 5, and I tell people I started like pretty young.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everyone I've talked to, they're like, oh, I was in the gym at 2 and 3 years old. I'm like,
Like, what are you doing at 2?
Right.
You're just tumbling at that point.
Exactly.
You're rolling around.
Literally.
Not breaking couches, so works out.
I guess 5 is old because my teammates start like at 3.
Right.
Started at 3. I never even thought about that. Like,
we're both
I'm 5
old
years old and I'm
starters.
old.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
like
insane to think about.
kindergarten.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is Bree Clark. She started at, I think 8 or either 8 or like 11. Like she started later on. I think she did like a tumbling thing or like a cheer thing before she started, and then got her start, and then has been able to progress. So that's really always shocking to me.
Yeah, that's
she need that.
very, very late for gymnastics.
Wait, talk about how you got your internship with NBC Sports too.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's a highly coveted internship.
Yes.
And I feel like it would give some of our listeners maybe some insight on like jobs, careers, things like that.
So I think that working in sports, the main thing is that you're always making connections. As much as you should probably be doing your best job every single day, connections will get you very, very far in the industry. And so I had already done good work with Ohio State athletics, and my boss came to me and she said that NBC Sports was looking for someone in journalism. I had never done journalism ever, but I was like, when else is this opportunity going to come around? So I was like, sure, let me do it for you guys. So I wrote an article for them, published my first NBC Sports article while I was in preseason and working for Ohio State athletics.
That's insane.
That was my junior year.
Because why not?
What else was I going to do? So that was my junior year. But after I had published it and everything, I emailed my boss for NBC Sports. I was like, I'm more into video content creation. I will very much be happy to keep writing articles for you. But they're like, great, let's send you over to content creation. So then I got to create videos, published, I guess, a ton of videos for them that were on their website. And
That just shows you just need to ask.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
People are probably scared of me because I will take any answer because I know that the worst is no. That's how I'm at these colleges. That's how I did my Leo collab with GK.
We have to get into the college. That too.
I just ask because what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
But that's how I got into NBC Sports as a whole. That's how I published an article and then also did videos, was just doing my best work, making sure that anything that my boss at Ohio State was asking me, I was over-delivering every single time so that I was the person that she asked when NBC needed someone.
That's crazy.
Okay,
That
what's
is
the
crazy.
Leo collab?
So GK Elite is like the world's leading brand of gymnastics apparel. They're who Team USA wears at the Olympics. They have signature lines with Simone Biles, Suni Lee, everyone like that. And then they also are who college gymnastics wears.
Yeah.
But me just always having a dream of every gymnast dream is to design a leotard. I was like, why not DM them? So I DM'd them asking. I was like, can we please do some sort of Leo collab? I just got over my 2 years owning this page, and I think that gym fans would really love it. And so we went through all these meetings and finally agreed on whatever we were going to do. So it's a very exclusive Leo. We decided on a 12, like there's only 12 that are ever being made.
Oh my gosh.
And so GK does a giveaway in December. From December 1st through 12th, they really give back to the gymnastics community by doing a giveaway. So every day for 12 days, someone wins 4 Leos, and they can go on the website and they can choose 4 Leos and they just get them for free. But we made a twist on it that this year they would pick 3 Leos and they would win this 1 Leo of mine. So the only way to get this Leo would be to win the giveaway.
Wow.
It's happening right now. You should probably enter.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
But it did really well in the first day. So it just launched December 1st. Today's the 5th, I think. It launched the 1st, and in the first 24 hours, it was almost at 12,000 comments and entries.
Wow.
That's
And
insane.
That's so cool.
thank you. I was just blown away because I was like, no way I'm doing, like, I have an actual Leo with this brand that I've spent way too much of my mom's money wearing throughout my gymnastics. But yeah, just
Just by asking. Having an idea.
Yeah. A lot of work that went in before asking, but
I was going to ask, what was the process that went into like creating the Leo #1 and asking?
yes, so the asking was easy. You can ask for whatever you want. But then it was one of the managers responded to me, and at first they were interested, but not too much. But we set up a meeting anyways, and we kind of got to know each other, hear what, I mean, on both sides, you have to make sure that they're getting the brand exposure they want. I'm getting the compensation that I should get from it and things like that. But then after that, I kind of didn't hear from them for a while. And then on a Monday, they were like, hey, we actually really want to do this Leo with you. Can you have designs by Wednesday?
Oh, God.
So I had 2 days to design a Leo.
Wow.
Nice.
I've never designed a Leo in my life. They're like, just send us all of your Leo inspo. So I sent probably like 10 leotards, and for non-gymnastics people, there's a lot that goes into a leotard, from the cut of the high neck or where you want the neckline to be, then what straps you want, what type of material you want the actual leotard to be, and then I sent them hex codes for different colors that I wanted, and then where the sequins will go on the back, do you want any cutouts, and all of these different things. So I did that in a day and a half so that I could send it back to them, because you want to send it in like way before the deadline so that they want to keep working with you. So then they have a designer that takes all of my inspo, gives me something. And so they gave me a first rough draft, and they're like, you have, I think it was a few days, maybe a week, to have the final thing in, and this is what we're creating. And I was like, oh, okay. So I called my best friend from home. She just graduated from Michigan State for gymnastics. And I was like, I need help. It's midnight, and I need to get this in. So on FaceTime, you know how you can like draw?
Yeah.
So we drew this better, like, edited Leo. We we used like the color picker so that it matched the colors of the Leo, and just drew in where we wanted changes to be, and that's what I sent into GK.
So cool. No way.
I was like, I can show you guys the drafts later, but I was like, this needs changed and this, and then they loved it, and now it's being produced. I'm going in January to the production facility so that whoever wins, I'll be there they're having me sign like handwritten notes, and then also just getting content of them making this Leo now.
That is so fun.
So cool.
In the Planet of Gymnastics brand too.
Thank you.
Like, do you have merch? Like, what's coming up next for?
I would love to get into merch. It's just clothing is a whole big monster that I haven't tackled yet.
Right.
But right now, the biggest thing was this college takeover. I still have a few more schools to go to.
Okay, explain the college takeover too.
Yes.
Like, you went to Florida, you went to Michigan State, you're now here at Clemson. Who else is on the list? Why did you want to do this?
Yes.
You kind of explained a little bit of getting the background of people who like do their sport, but who they are off the mat as well. But
yeah, I really wanted to do this because in my comments last year, a ton of people after season were saying, hey, I'm from somewhere in Europe. I'm from a different country. This is the first time I've had access to NCAA. And as you're trying to grow the sport, the best way to do it is give fans across the world access, especially free access. And so that's how this kind of came up. I was like, all these things that I took for granted, or that was just my normal day as a student athlete, nobody else has ever seen. And so I started again, just my first DM was to the Florida head coach. And I was like, I want to come to your school. Can we make that happen? And that was like in the summer. So all of these plans have been happening for a very long time, to make sure then that when I get a sponsor, that our contract is, my pitch deck was good enough for them to sign a contract with me. And then from there, I'm just literally DMing these coaches like, hey, please let me come to your school. And
that's got to be daunting. Like, you have to explain like why.
Right.
Like, you're coming here to film my athletes for what?
Yes. And the fact that all these coaches have believed in me and been able to give me this access has been so rewarding to just see, and fulfilling. Like, you believed in Planet of Gymnastics enough to let me be able to do this. But yeah, so I'm trying to go behind the scenes in a ton of different ways. So I've talked to the academic advisors. I've talked to sports psychologists. I met with people that are in your recovery rooms and things like that. Everything that gymnastics fans haven't been able to see, especially not for free. And just being able to give people this access and being able to grow the sport in this way is just so much fun for me. I have very, very fun top schools that I'm going to next. And it's been really cool because all of these schools have been reaching out to me instead of it being the other way. As they've seen the first few come in, I've had like maybe 4 or 5 more schools in the SEC, Big Ten, everywhere asking for me to come to them next.
That is so cool. You kind of get to put the school on a pedestal too, and like, give the school more exposure as well. So I don't see why they would say no.
Right, exactly.
So that's so cool that you get to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How did you go about building your brand? Like, even going from that parking lot, you're starting it, you grew it so quickly, you continue to grow it. I think people hold themselves back, right? And all the fears that you talked about are so real, but how do you take that next step and just try? And I'm sure there's been things that you've tried that didn't work.
Yeah.
But I think growing a brand is daunting, and it's easier to not do it than to try and maybe see the reward that you're now seeing, but sometimes you don't, or it takes longer.
Right.
How did you just go for it?
I went for it because I was just at such a bad mental place, and I really just needed something to do. I wasn't getting out of bed for like 17 hours in a day, but at least I could post on Planet. And so I gave myself a goal. It was like 3 or 5 posts every day, and which was very hard at the beginning when you're first learning how everything works and editing and things. But I posted every day consistently. Then you get your first viral post, and then it's just like, now you're addicted to it. And after senior year, I was now working in the NFL. So I would finish my NFL game day. I would come back, gymnastics meets would be on. I would post until midnight, 1 a.m. You just have to really want it, especially just right out the gate when you're trying to grow. I mean, this is now, December marks 2.5 years, but for the first 2 years, I didn't see any return on anything. It was just because, for the love of the game, I guess. Yeah. But you just, once I found what I liked to do, there wasn't really much that was going to stop me from seeing what could be next. So for the first year or two, it was just growing that brand identity so that people knew who I was. After some NCAA weekends, I would have like 20 posts in a night. And so I just did not stop. And then once I felt like I had enough brand, like people knew who I was, then I started reaching out to these colleges, and I started doing these collabs with GK and doing things like this that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. Even reaching out to level 10s, because I want to highlight other people. I'd reach out to level 10s when they made it nationals, like, hey, send me your videos, I'd love to highlight you. So just trying to reach every part of the sport and just bringing everyone together ends up giving you a lot of content. It's just how much are you willing to do in a day.
Wow.
What was that feeling like when you first got that like viral video, or like your most viewed video?
What was the viral video too?
Well, the first one, like viral to me at the beginning when I had like 50 followers was like 100K. And it was one of my old teammates, her name's Linda Zivit, and she competed at Iowa, and she stuck a vault, and for some reason it just like did really well. I started gaining followers. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And that also gave me the confidence that I needed to continue to post, because when you start from zero, it's like so daunting. You're like, this is kind of dumb. Why am I posting for 20 followers right now? But I loved all 20 followers. But just that first viral video really just gets you going to keep growing.
Yeah. I feel like on social media too, like I feel like I always hear like, just post, like keep posting, post what you want to post, because like at some point, like I feel like you do catch like that break, or like you hopefully do. So like, would you say like for people that want to like grow their content, grow their brand, like just to keep posting?
Yeah, keep posting, but also try to give yourself at least some sort of niche or reason. You don't want to just post. I mean, you could just post whatever you want to, but I like to think that I have a little bit of some strategy going on behind what I do. But for a ton of people, the hardest part is starting. And for me, it was because I was embarrassed or scared. So I just blocked people that I thought would make me scared. And that was the only thing that was stopping me at that point. So really just, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is you don't wait for opportunities, you make them. And once I got over that, I was like, okay, I've made an opportunity for myself. I'm not going to let the fear of people judging me get in the way. Block them. That's done with. The next step is to start posting 3 to 5 times a day, grow it to 20 posts a day, and then
I love that.
I love that too.
Because that's real, right? Other people, as much as we want to say maybe we don't care about what other people think, we do. Like we're humans. So just block them.
Yeah.
You're just not going to see my content.
If you want to talk in real life, like come say hi to me. But
I love that.
And you're growing your own opportunities. Like you're not waiting for people to like be like, hey, like, can you do this? Like you're like, no, like this is my brand. Like let me show you like who I am and you know what I stand for. So that's really cool.
You're being super proactive about everything, I feel like.
Thank you.
What's like one thing you wish you knew before you started all of this? Like 2 years ago in the parking lot, like what's one thing or one piece of advice you would give yourself?
Don't let yourself be down by criticism. It'll happen anyways, but once you get your first hate comments, that means you made it. So it means you're big enough to have made it. So I think I take those to heart, especially just as a gymnast. Everything is, you're under a microscope. Like everything is just scrutinized about everything. And so that was the hardest part for me. I'm a people pleaser. I want people to like me. And so sometimes I'd be so down about some of the comments. I'd be like, I don't want to post anymore. But then I just see all the people that have enjoyed my content, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll keep doing it. So yeah, just don't care what people think. There will always be more people that do care.
I feel like it's so hard too, because as a gymnast, you're a perfectionist, so you want everything to be perfect at all times, and that's just never the way things work out. So like learning that and being able to move on from that is a great lesson for anyone as they're starting to build their brand.
Yes.
Things like that.
Yeah. My boyfriend makes fun of me because after working for House of Highlights, and now he is the social media manager elsewhere, but like the amount of perfection that goes into my posts, like if I don't like the size, I'll like tweak it just by one size, or I'll have to like make sure that it's centered like 10 times before I can post. So it's been my downfall a little bit, but we're all good.
I just listened to a speaker who had said, if you have haters, it means you're doing something right.
Exactly.
People are going to hate because of their own insecurities or jealousies, because they wish that they could or would do that. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to ask one final question. What has been your favorite reaction from either a celebrity or someone who's acknowledged your post or something like that, that you've been like, oh my gosh, like I'm starstruck?
I think the first time that I was like, oh wow, what is going on? Last year, they're always in doctor's appointments, but I had just come back from either a surgery checkup or physical therapy. I was in the parking lot, and SZA reposted my post. And I was like, I have a vinyl of you. You're in my Spotify Wrapped. Like, I really like SZA. And she reposted and commented, and she did multiple times. And then from there, like, I had a ton of, like, someone in the NBA, and then just influencers that have nothing to do with gymnastics. And
that's a crazy reach.
Crazy. So cool.
Yeah. that
you're
was
showing gymnastics to these.
Yeah, I've had some of the Kardashians like my stuff. And
oh, wow.
I was like, this is just so weird, but fun, especially because I started the page after I was done with gymnastics. So I think besides like the celebrities, just seeing the gymnasts, like I had 2 of your teammates yesterday were like, oh my gosh, I'm a big Planet of Gymnastics fan. I feel like I should be fangirling. I was like, that's weird, because I didn't see any of this when I was a gymnast.
Yeah.
I created this and then posted from my couch. So I just love seeing how much it's impacted gymnasts.
So fun. Literally,
cool.
it's like
inspiring too.
Yeah.
It's like you just like literally just created your own path and like what you wanted to do. So like definitely inspiring for people who are like unsure of what they want to do too.
Thank you. And now it's my full-time job. I created my own business this past summer, so I do social media management for different clients, and then Planet also is just another side gig, I guess, that happened to do really well. But now I get to do this all for free, or all for fun, and full-time.
Not for free.
Not for free.
Get paid.
No. I get paid.
That is so fun. Hannah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Where can people find you on social media? I know we've said it a bunch of times, but
Yes.
if they haven't heard, where can people find you? Either your personal, your TikTok, anything.
Instagram and TikTok. TikTok would be at Planet of Gymnastics, and then my personal is Han Oliveros. And you can find me on Instagram, TikTok. I have a sports media page. If you're trying to learn how to get into sports, it's Hannah Oliveros. And
LinkedIn.
I don't post on LinkedIn. I really need to, but I don't. At some point, like if I get overwhelmed, then that's like it. And LinkedIn overwhelms me, so I'm on LinkedIn. You can look me up, but my last post I think is from last year with the Browns. So,
all right.
Well, thank you so
That
much
was
for
awesome.
coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
This was really fun.